against Boston College. Zaria Harris-Waddy, the junior, to serve away. Off we go here on a Friday night in the women's building. First swing at the left pin for Audrey Ross, handled by Harris-Waddy. Skylar George down the line, and the Orange will pick up the first point. Good start for Skylar George.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest thing. Syracuse started out a bit slow on Wednesday. They come in and get the first point here today, and it's George picking up right where she left off.
13 kills for Skylar on Wednesday, but also 13 errors as Harris-Waddy continues serving. Lucy Mott sets backside, Sequoia Lane, dug up by McLaughlin. George starts with 2 quick kills for the Orange.
Not typical Skylar George play, trying to rip it through the defense, but she's able to score in a couple of different ways. Picks up 2 right away for the Orange.
Yelland on serve receive. Maeva back set, Marie Lorio from the right pin. That's a kill for Syracuse. And what a performance the Orange got out of Lorio on Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely, you said it. The freshman stepping up, appeared in that right side hitter role that Syracuse needed to fill that void. Just practiced only for a couple of minutes before the game on Wednesday, but she looks pretty good.
Harris-Waddy opening on a 3-0 service run. BC picks up their first point, a kill from Audrey Ross, who has really improved over the course of her career, Tommy, to the point where she has become that complete package like we highlighted off the top.
Yeah, she could do it on both sides of the ball. You'll see her get in on the blocking side today, but really dominant on the offensive end. Talked about her in the pregame. BC going to need to look her way to stay on the offensive side.
Ross and the server here, Cornelia Roach, the 2 BC captains. Lorio going off speed. Ehrlich getting offensive at the net. Free ball for Syracuse. Back set for Lorio. That finds Orange on the floor. Couple of kills for Marie Lorio in just her 4th start of the season.
The biggest thing Coach Big talked about in that short practice that they had was figuring out the angles from the right side. And you see it right there from Lorio, pinpointing the defense and getting over in the area where she knows she can place it.
Yamada digs Ross. McLaughlin from the 10. Yamada on the overpass. Laia stuffed. Audrey Ross. This Boston College team is very tall. They get it done at the net.
Just a really good defensive set as a whole for Boston College. A couple of nice digs, even though one bit of an overpass, but they adjusted well on top of the net and then come away with the block.
4-2 Syracuse leads here in the first set. Aubrey Moore, one of 2 setters for Boston College. Jason Kennedy's team rolls a 6-2. Push set to the left pin. George is roofed again. Back-to-back block stuffs.
First couple of plays, Boston College looked a bit disoriented, but now right back to where they excel on the defensive side. A block on one end and then switch it over to the opposite, and it still works.
They had 14 in the match on Wednesday night. Maeva bump sets for George. And now Maeva gets offensive, and Maeva's got a kill. And for Tea Maeva, that has become a staple of her game. She had 5 kills on Wednesday, which is pretty ridiculous for a setter.
She's been brilliant at switching up the pacing on the Syracuse offense. Obviously, they like to feed George and McLaughlin on the outside, but every now and then she'll catch the defense off guard.
That's a kill for Tea Maeva now in 11 of her last 12 matches. Service error from Skylar George. 5-4 Syracuse ahead here in the first set. 20th match of the season for Syracuse, 5-4 in ACC play. Best start since 2018. BC, their 22nd match. 2 teams trading service errors as Audrey Ross goes into the net.
Back and forth, seeing these teams on both sides have a few faults early on. It's going to be a matter of adjusting again. We talked about the travel difficulties, playing 2 games back-to-back before the weekend really even kicks off.
Yellen the libero into bump set. Danica Rock with the swing, handled by George. And Harris-Waddy, a little unorthodox there. Going off of first contact, but Harris-Waddy's got the kill.
Just an athletic play, and really heads up, just IQ, knew that she wasn't going to be able to get that ball to any of her teammates, so it was a moment where she had to take the one-time chance.
How about the improvement from Zari Harris-Wani between her first season as a freshman and now as a junior? She's continued really every preseason and every season to make those improvements, and it's led to her taking a starting role this year. Brooklyn Yellen, the libero, to serve. Maeva push set to the outside. McLaughlin still trying to find the floor. Gabby looking for a touch, and she's got it. Point Syracuse, as they say, it caught hands. No argument from Boston College. 8-5 the Cuse lead here in the first set.
Let's take another look up close at the net. See it just skim off the fingertips. McLaughlin knew it right away.
Serve away by Maeva. That is just out.
Another close call. You saw it on the tip up towards the net, and Syracuse swings one back towards Boston College way, but that serve just inches off from clipping the line.
Here's Lucy Mott, the other of the two setters, sophomore from Ohio. Mott back sets for Sequoia Lane. Yamada able to keep it alive, but a free ball for BC. Good defense from the Orange. Can they survive another? Yes, they can. Mott sets to the middle. George with a diving play. What a rally. BC throwing the kitchen sink at Syracuse. Still the Orange won't give in. McLaughlin on the roll shot. Finally, Lane terminates for Boston College. Longest rally of the day so far, and BC gets the point.
A really nice back and forth, and Syracuse was doing a heck of a job on the defensive side. Dig after dig. Ultimately, couldn't really set up their offense and throw anything back at Boston College. So enough attempts. BC will finally push through.
Lana Yamada leading the way there for Syracuse. She had 25 digs in Wednesday's match, most any Syracuse player has had since 2021, as BC levels things up at 8.
Just a nice setup, in Boston College after that long volley and getting multiple attempts, kind of settling in on the offensive side, getting a better feel.
And both coaches said that this is the type of scoreline we should expect all night. These two teams are so evenly matched. As McLaughlin's going to get her first kill here, you're really not going to see any sets that go 25 to 15 to 17.
Sure, this is one that Syracuse likes to see finally come through. Haven't seen too many setups from McLaughlin on the outside yet. Took till 8-8 to finally get her going, and now Cuse back on top.
Set to the middle, Sequoia Lane. The up from Yamada. McLaughlin stuffed at the net. Boston College's block has been excellent so far. That's their 5th block of the set.
Just a much bigger presence on top of the net. And heard from Coach Baker earlier on in the game that Syracuse has to get better on the blocking side of things. Right now, it's a big advantage for BC.
They are the taller team. That is not uncommon for Syracuse to be going up against. They are one of the smaller teams in terms of the height of their middles compared to the rest of the ACC. Another kill for Audrey Ross. She's got 3 here in the first set.
Just a tough one to handle. Back line, McLaughlin tried to put herself in the right position in order to keep it going. Caught a bit off guard, too high on the body, and then deflects out.
Danica Rock, the sophomore who had 4 kills on Wednesday to serve. George, Yelland handles that. 2 excellent liberos tonight in Yelland and Yamada. Harris-Wani towards the donut. It's pancaked by Yelland. Really seeing some terrific defense so far as Lorio able to chisel off the block for the kill.
Just a good back and forth, and it's ultimately which defense would break. What a dig by Yellen. to keep it going. Syracuse, a nice job up top on the net. And they find another chance to take a strike.
Another kill for Sequoia Lane. This is just her third start of the year. Typically comes in as a left side when they need some more offense, but she's a really nice bright spot for them.
Yeah, and Coach Kennedy just talked so much about her athleticism, the highest jumper on the team. They love to feed her towards that outside, and she's got an advantage on seeing the full court when she's up there.
Lane touches 10-5, highest on the team. Lorio can get up there too, and Syracuse will get the point here on BC being called for a net violation. So tied at 11 here in the first set, neck and neck, just like we expected. We talked about how the first two sets in Wednesday night's match were a little bit one-sided, but the back three were as close as you can find. These two teams mirror images of each other. Yellen steps into set, and Ross has another kill. And the setting ability of the libero Brooklyn Yellen is something Jason Kennedy talked about a lot.
Yeah, kind of a dual threat. You don't see that too much, that ability to set up her outside hitters. When you have Ross on the receiving end of it, it's a tough one to defend.
(12-11) BC leading here in the first set. They run Leia on the slide. Boston College denies that. George finds a spot down the line.
Well, once there was that fourth set on the other night, Syracuse was down 19-22, and it ended up going to extra play. Won it 30-28 in that fourth, and it was a big credit to Skylar George. As that has happened, she has really found her rhythm, picking up right where she left off today.
Talk about putting the team on your back. It's exactly what Skylar George did. Overpass from Yellen gives Syracuse a free ball. And McLaughlin will make him pay for it.
You're so worried about the damage that Skylar George has been doing today. It doesn't work for her the first time, and then you swing it to Gabby McLaughlin on the other end. Really tough for a defense to defend.
Every coach is so impressed by Gabby McLaughlin and the way that she's able to play so much taller than just her 5'8" stature. Into the donut for Anna Harrington for BC, all tied up at 13. You picking up a theme here?
It's a bit of a back and forth. Like you said, these teams are evenly matched up, but again, a glaring category so far. The kill, Syracuse with 12 and Boston College just with 7. That was the story of the other night, and BC gonna have to find a way to get going offensively.
Jason Kennedy for Boston College said it's going to be the small adjustments that are going to make the biggest differences because these two teams are so evenly matched. Lorio stuffed again by the Boston College block. That's maybe the biggest difference here in the first set. BC's block has been much stronger.
Yeah, the Eagles don't have it going on the offensive side in order to match Syracuse, but when you can block this well as they have been doing, that stunts the Syracuse offense. It really gives them the big advantage.
George has to set for the Orange. Maeva sets at the left pin for McLaughlin, handled down the line by Ross. George flying out of the back row, Yellen with another sprawling play. And another. This time it's Lorio diving. What defense we've seen here in the first set. Finally, Boston College will take the point. It's the second long rally they've taken. And we will take our media timeout with to pull it out. It says a lot about the character of Bakir Ganesharatnam's group.
Not only coming back in that fourth set, down 3 match points. In that fifth, they were down 7-10, and then ended the game on an 8-2 run.
15-13, Boston College leads. We play first to 25, have to win by 2, best 3 sets out of 5. Maeva to Leia on the slide, denied again at the net. That has not worked so far. That slide play that Sawana Leia likes to run for the Orange. Another marathon rally has a similar result with a block stuff. It's the freshman Bella Ehrlich.
Ehrlich stepping up on that middle side of the net. She brings the height to Boston College and was pretty calm and collected after the shot too. Knew she was in the right spot, put it down, and happy to award her team a point.
Prize piece of that recruiting class came in as the 3rd ranked middle blocker in the state of California, and BC another, as actually they're not going to give Boston College credit for the block. They're just going to say that Skylar George's swing there did not clear the net. So the Eagles have a 4-point lead here in the first set. There's Audrey Ross, averaging just under 3.5 kills per set. She's been everything and more that Boston College has been looking for in an elite outside hitter this year. George with a soft touch, and she's able to sneak it in just inside the line in front of Yelland.
Brilliant job at reading the defense. George from the back line likes to come in with a hard swing, but saw the blockers go up, no one on that right side. Perfect placement.
And Ehrlich swing too much for George. But to go back to that off speed from Skylar George right there, that was something Jason Kennedy brought up to us, Boston College's head coach. He said, yes, Skylar George can hit for power, but what really sets her apart and what makes her difficult to game plan for is the off-speed ability she has.
The Syracuse offense knows that as well. With not the biggest outside hitters, they got to attack in a lot of different ways.
Syracuse block comes up with a stub. Zaria Harris-Wadi.
So Syracuse finally gets one. We're blanked in the blocking category, and that was all Harris-Wadi. See if that sparks up the defensive side.
It has been very difficult as Maeva serves for Syracuse to get an attack through the BC block so far. Well executed on the right pin to Anna Harrington, the senior. They don't have many of them, Boston College, but Harrington, one of the leaders as an upperclassman for this team.
And a good job at just reading the court. There was too much empty space there on Syracuse's behalf, and rises up over the blockers, locates and scores.
4-point lead for Boston College. A one-handed set and a kill for Harris-Wadi. Able to tool the block. Syracuse to within 3 here in the first.
Harris-Wadi comes up with a big block a couple of points ago and now gets it going with a kill. Syracuse needs to get on a bit of a run.
Sequoia Lane, what a swing and what a dig by Yamada. Chance here for the Orange on the free ball. George, as we get a whistle and a net violation called against Boston College. It's Cuse's point.
Picking up a couple in a row, and now you got McLaughlin getting on a serve streak. Syracuse closing in.
They'll come out of the back row for Ross. And a mishit, a misconnection between the setter Lucy Mott and Cornelia Roach. Syracuse to within 1. As back and forth we go here in the first set.
Saw a couple miscues from BC early on in this set. Big part of why Syracuse jumped out of the gate up 3-0, and they were mainly on the defensive end, not being able to read Syracuse's offense, pick up on some of the hits they were throwing their way, but BC now on the offensive side, and it's a bit of question though.
And we may get a challenge here. Jason Kennedy in conversation with the R2, Deborah LaValle. And we will indeed get a challenge from the Boston College head coach.
Boston is challenging the Wazzy Nut.
There's the announcement. This is a fairly pivotal challenge. 1-point lead as of right now. A good run here for Syracuse. Initial ruling, no net violation. Kennedy and Boston College challenging because they believe the contrary. How would you evaluate this start? Let's start with Boston College. What seems different about them tonight compared to Wednesday?
doing better on the blocking side of things. That category was close even on Wednesday, and BC has that advantage. They know they want to take advantage of that, and they've been doing so thus far. And again, it's to what Coach Kennedy has said, got to get better on the offensive side and be able to swing with what Syracuse brings.
8-2 in blocks so far. BC has the advantage there. And then for Syracuse, as you see Marie Lorio there front and center, making just her 5th start here tonight. Currently in a 1-point hole, as we'll take a look at what they're looking at here on the challenge. Let's watch Zaria Harris-Wadi's foot.
And that's going to be the question. Yep. Where does that go? And it'd be a big break for Boston College because that setup and that connection just clearly not in rhythm. The setup and the touch no good. Ball clearly flies out for BC and had no chance on an offensive point.
It seems like they're probably looking at that right foot to see if it crossed the line. Again, with challenges, you get 2 challenges per match. If you win your challenge, you get to keep your challenge. However, if you lose, you still get your 2, but once you run out, you will not get another challenge until, if and when, we have a 5th set.
After review, there was a nod. Point Boston. They retain their challenge.
That gets the Boston College bench pumped up as they overturn the call, and that's a big point swing here, as now Boston College goes up by 3, and they're into the red zone first. That's the first to 20.
Yeah, and you stop a serving streak from Gabby McLaughlin as well. Picked up a couple in a row, and it's one of Syracuse's, if not the most dangerous player on the roster, looking to get her squad going. Instead of a 1 point and her still with the ball, you got a 3-point separation.
Skylar George leading the Cuse so far with 5 kills here in this first set. Audrey Ross also has 5 for Boston College. Danica Rock, the sophomore from California, to serve. Ace. Skylar George couldn't handle it, and BC is back up by 4.
It's another extension of what those challenges and those timeouts do. Sometimes you just too big of a break and you come out flat, and that's exactly what happened to Syracuse.
So Syracuse
with an exhibition at Buffalo tomorrow.
Craziest time of the year when fall sports and winter sports run into each other. And of course, by crazy, I mean the most fun time of the year. Middle set for Harris-Wadi, not well timed, but then Boston College made a mess of it on the other side, and we've seen some terrific points throughout the night so far. That was not one of the better ones.
Yeah, that's been the last couple of points as well. 2 points ago, you see a miscommunication that ended up being a violation on Syracuse. Skylar George not able to handle the serve, and then once again.
Ross is wide, hitting at an angle, and 2 quick points for Syracuse. So they get the side out, and now the Cuse look to go on a little service run of their own with Harris-Wadi at the service line. Yelland handles the serve. Very tight to the net. And Lane has the kill for Boston College. The key with Sequoia Lane, Jason Kennedy said, is they know that she's an extremely gifted offensive player. The key for her is cutting down her errors. And she's done better, she said, Coach Kennedy said rather, as the season's gone on. Savannah Curtis in the game to serve. And she serves wide, point Syracuse. 2-point lead for Boston College. As Marie Lorio steps back to the service line, entered in that second set in the match on Wednesday, and then never came out again. Double-double with 10 kills and 13 digs for the freshman. Ross from the left pin, off the block, point Boston College.
And finally, a pure setup here for BC. We've seen a lot of the points late in this set come off errors, but this time it's just Ross overpowering, figuring out the Syracuse block.
And Syracuse will take their second and final timeout of the first set, down by 3.
Coach Big.
Down by 3 here in the first set to Boston College. Aubrey Moore serving. Lorio on serve receive. George blocked again. Bella Ehrlich. Set point Boston College.
Sometimes it just seems easy when Ehrlich's in there on the block. Skylar George had no chance at getting that through.
Lefty serve by Moore. McLaughlin is roofed. It is Ehrlich again. And Boston College takes the first set behind a terrific performance by their blockers. Boston College.
That duo to 5 or 6 kills. They come out of the first set with 8 combined, but still BC.
Rock serve to open the second set, grazes the tape. Skylar George will take the first swing. Yellen the libero, sets backside. Swing by Lorio, didn't catch it well. First point of set 2 to the Eagles.
Syracuse has struggled offensively towards that few last points of set number 1, and now carrying it onto the first with a tough swing from Lorio.
4 kills for Marie Lorio in that first set. Rock sends away. Skylar George with a left pin swing. Free ball Syracuse. Rejected again at the net. Point Boston College, the point for Audrey Ross. She tools the block, and there's the difference. Skylar George tried to go through it. Boston College's block got a touch, and you see what Boston College did, and they got the point there.
It almost seemed like the Eagles were out of that possession since the start as well, just hanging on the defensive side. But finally, when they get their setup, Ross puts it down.
George blocked again. Sequoia Lane with the swing, handled. McLaughlin from the 10. Somehow Boston College able to keep it up, and it's the Eagles who come away with the point. Wow, that really seemed like a point that Boston College should not have gotten. Sometimes not pretty. Look at this.
Not exactly how they drew it up, but you stick with it, and that's what BC's been doing on the defensive side. They just haven't broken. That's
going to be Lucy Mott's kill, the setter. Rock with the service error. That ends the 3-0 service run to start the second. And for Syracuse, they really are going to have to figure out something to either hit around the block, to go over it, to go through it. They'll have to figure out something here in the second set. Aubrey Ross swings wide. A couple of points in a row for Syracuse. Marie Lorio will continue to serve. And we mentioned it briefly in the first set with Lorio, but it's still, just to put into perspective just how impressive what she did the other day is, she's been an outside hitter her entire career. And they showed her opposite or right side for 15 minutes in practice on Wednesday, and she was still able to execute as a right side when they needed it most in that match on Wednesday, and rewarded with a start here tonight. Roach to serve, one of the 2 captains for Boston College. They call her Coco. And a miscommunication on the Syracuse side of the floor. The Orange not at all as razor sharp as they were on Wednesday night. Down 3 here in the second.
Yeah, they're just out of sync. They haven't gotten anything going the way they really wanted to. And serve receive was something that they were impressive on Wednesday, and it's something they have been throughout the season. That's not a good start if that's what starts to fall off as well.
McLaughlin has to bump set to George, and she finds the back line. How about Gabby McLaughlin showing off a nice set of hands there on that bump set.
And it only takes one swing for Skylar George to start getting fired up, and you saw it right after. The reaction finds its way in the line. Now she's at the service spot.
Ross from the left pin swings into the net. And you bring up the emotion and the passion that Skylar George plays with. And Bakir Ganesharatnam said that, maybe she's not necessarily the vocal leader because she is young. She's just a redshirt sophomore. But as far as emotion and the fire that she plays with, that's certainly something her teammates can feed off of. Lane at the right pin. Syracuse block takes a bite out of that. And Lane paints the corner on the cross-court attack. So Sequoia Lane putting together a first good couple of sets here for Boston College, making just her 3rd start of the season.
When these teams get into long volleys, it's been Boston College just not showing any sort of cracks, giving it up, surviving until they get their perfect placement, and Lane with the finishing touch on that point.
Eagles by 2 here in the 2nd set. They lead the match 1-0. McLaughlin right through the block that time. See, there she found the window.
The last 2 points from Syracuse coming from George and McLaughlin. It's the 2 they have to get started, and yeah, you mentioned it there, Eddie. The block's not getting close enough, quick enough. Finds the gap.
Ehrlich on the slide. Lorio off the block to the floor. Point Syracuse. Tied at 6 here in the 2nd set.
Now all the hitters getting mixed in. The trio we saw from last game, George, McLaughlin, and Lorio in a string.
This whole right side thing seems to be working out pretty well for Marie Lorio. She may not want to go back. Ross with the roll shot. Yamada handles. Harris Waddy paints the back line. Syracuse leads here in the 2nd.
The last 4 points, all different players for Syracuse. And the overpass, that's something that Harris Waddy loves and is able to put down.
Point Boston College, and the overpass, that's like the slam dunk wide open net for the middle blockers. Their eyes bug out whenever they see that. Ross serves right down the line. Harris Waddy right through the block off the hands of Bella Ehrlich. Point Syracuse.
So finds herself the overpass on the last point, but then this one, a setup. Right to her in the middle. Get a nice view at the net. Sneaks it through.
She hit .318 on Wednesday night. That was the best hitting percentage for the Cuse. Maeva sends away. Transfer from Nevada. She and Gabby McLaughlin both coming from the Mountain West. McLaughlin blocked. Bella Ehrlich again.
It's just a really tough ask for Syracuse right now to try and get past Ehrlich, and as a complete solo two-hand touch.
Jason Kennedy said every week for Ehrlich, the freshman, the blocking just gets better and better. Yellen has to bump set. And finds Rock at the left pin, who puts it down. Again, the setting ability from the libero, Brooklyn Yellen. Such a difference maker.
And Syracuse has to put some more pressure on the offensive side. With Ehrlich out for that possession, it was too easy for BC to go ahead and set themselves up.
George makes the first pass. Yellen, another bump set. And Rock at the left pin. She's putting together a nice outing. Jason Kennedy said, you know exactly what you get from Danica Rock. You know exactly what you get from Brooklyn Yellen, too, which is exceptional defense. See the numbers for Diggs and how she stacks up to the rest of the conference. Lorio gets the point for the Cuse.
Switching sides for Marie Lorio, and maybe back to where she's typically more comfortable in.
More sets, Syracuse block, gets a piece. George just has to bump it over. But it's not executed well by Boston College. It was set very tight to the net, and not much Aubrey Ross could do there.
A miscommunication on the back line at first on who got the first touch, and got tied up at the net, set not where it's supposed to be, and all knotted back up.
McLaughlin has to set for George, and George overcooks it. Boston College by 1 here in the second set. Got a 1-0 lead in the match, took the first set 25-20. Back and forth, but eventually BC pulled away towards the end. We went 5 on Wednesday. Swing by Sequoia Lane, and she's got another. 5 kills for Lane, the sophomore from White Plains.
Boston College just absolutely in rhythm right now. Lane over both the blockers.
Maeva sets the middle for McLaughlin out of the back row, joust at the net, controlled by Boston College. Danica Rock gets another. Really seemed like a missed opportunity there for Syracuse. Trailing 1-0 in the match. Akir Ganesh Ratnam and his team need to find some rhythm here. Not gonna happen there. Cornelia Roach with the kill. We talked about her in the first set, but she's such an incredible story. Didn't play at all as a freshman, then just 4 sets as a sophomore, but every year better and better and better. Full-time starter for now the 2nd year in a row. George flying, but it's long, and Boston College is up 5 here in the second set.
Everything going the Eagles' way. They look completely in rhythm. They've thrown Syracuse out of theirs. And then even on a good touch from Skylar George, she can't find it.
Serve into the net for Lucy Mott. And you wonder if things continue to progress this way. We've seen Coach Bake for Syracuse at times start to make personnel adjustments at this point in the match. Something to keep an eye on as we progress here, if his team continues to struggle offensively and continues to struggle getting around the block. Look at Sequoia Lane. Jason Kennedy says she touches 10-5, scraping the sky on that one.
Might have a new record. Might have broke that 10-5 way up.
Like there was a trampoline on the floor. Mentioned it a couple of times tonight, so much raw talent for Sequoia Lane. George tools the block. Good one-handed set there from Tea Maeva.
Saw Syracuse yesterday come back from some tough deficits. But you certainly don't want to put yourself down 2-0.
Marie Lorio, a big part of that comeback. She's got 6 kills so far tonight. Ross swinging from the left pin. Syracuse block gets a piece. 3-ball, Harris Waddy, Yellen can't handle it. Back-to-back points for Syracuse, the Orange within 3.
Finally a little bit of momentum creeping. Boston College has pretty much dominated since going into that timeout, leaving the break as well, and Syracuse hopefully for them putting the pieces together.
Marie Lorio looking to spark a run here for the Orange. Yellen makes the first pass. Quick set to the middle, and Cornelia Roach deposits.
Just quick, and this is what Coach Kennedy likes to do sometimes. Play it quick to the middle, and when you have that size advantage, makes it that much easier.
Roach with 4 kills on 7 swings. Best hitting percentage approaching .600 for Boston College. George answers back with a swing of her own.
George has found her breaks, but Syracuse just hasn't been able to put the points together in order to climb back on top.
Ross on serve receive. Lane flies up there again. She is turning into a real problem.
What a swing, but just some miscommunication on Syracuse side as well. Lorio and George cross paths, and not enough communication on who's going to handle that.
7 kills for Sequoia Lane. 4-point lead for Boston College. Tough handle for George. It's an overpass on the serve. Yamada into bump set. McLaughlin from the left pin, handled by Moore. And another kill. This is Harrington. 5-point lead for Boston College. Syracuse just cannot put the Eagles away right now.
Yeah, when they're moving right to left, you see these right side hitters swinging towards the opposite side of the court. It has been a recipe for success.
The Orange in a 5-point hole. McLaughlin continues to struggle. Boy, Gabby McLaughlin now for Syracuse, just 4 kills on 20. And Audrey Ross, the captains, are because they were players who didn't play right away as freshmen, so they understand the process of going through it from freshmen to their upperclassmen years. McLaughlin dug up by Yellen. Yamada, what a diving dig. Syracuse libero has been outstanding. Ehrlich sets backside. Rock out of the back row into the nets. That was a little bit too low.
The Syracuse defense able to hold up, and that's how you want to respond outside of a timeout. Down 6, got to show up. Made Boston College work for it, and then ultimately an error on their part.
Overpass, chance for Syracuse. Finally, McLaughlin puts it away. And maybe that is the kill that jumpstarts a run for Syracuse's best player.
Yeah, maybe floated a bit too far, but was expecting Harris Waddy to go take a swing at the overpass. Instead, they set it up and looked to get McLaughlin running.
Ehrlich on the slide, that's long. So a well-taken time.
Combining for 8, and BC still pulled away with it.
3-point lead for Boston College, but a 3-0 run for Syracuse. Ross tools the block. Boston College back up by 4. The Eagles 4 points away from taking a 2-0 stranglehold on the match.
And up top, Syracuse gets the hands on it, but too much power, can't direct it.
Is that one you live with if you're Coach Bake, in the right spot, just bounces the wrong way?
I mean, you put yourself in the right position. You want to get those hands angled to where you can get yourself a point, but it's one you live with, and it's a nice response by Syracuse.
McLaughlin, another kill. Back-to-back swings, back-to-back kills for Gabby McLaughlin. Hitting percentage still under 050, 036 for McLaughlin. If Syracuse is going to come back, they will need her to be big for the Cuse. Lorio from the right side, did that find the line? It did. Just clipped the corner from Marie Lorio, the Orange within 2.
Opposite sides, and Lorio figuring out that right side hitter as well. Put some spin on that ball.
Taya Maeva. Left pin McLaughlin, the off speed, handled by Boston College. Yellen the libero to bump set, and George can't dig it. Powerful swing from Anna Harrington.
George has done a really good job today, reception-wise. 11 digs so far in the game. Tied for the lead with Yamada. Can't come up with that one, and now Boston College inches closer.
Yellen with 7 assists and now an ace as that is in. Brooklyn Yellen has been somewhat hit or miss from the service line this year. She's got 20 aces coming into tonight, but she also had just under 40 errors from the service line to lead the team. Bit of a high-risk, high-reward server. 4-point lead for BC. Yellen serving again. First pass by Yamada. Back set for Rock. Harris-Wadi on first contact. And that goes underneath the net. It's Syracuse's point.
Haven't seen Boston College with too many missed touches. Done a really good job at keeping that defense on lock, making Syracuse earn their points, but an error on the receive gives Syracuse some life.
Served by McLaughlin. Ross steps into set. BC not in system. Free ball Syracuse. Harris-Wadi.
A little bit of energy sparked inside the women's building. BC does a good job at staying alive, but the quick setup to Harris-Wadi locates and puts it down.
Syracuse trying to do everything they can to get this crowd back into the match. This is set tight to the net, a stuff. And the Cuse are within one.
George and Harris-Wadi combining. Not a lot of room to go here for Boston College. Quick up at the net. And you talk about some energy. There's George bringing it.
Syracuse serving with McLaughlin, a chance to tie. Point Boston College. And the Eagles will now have the first of 2 set points, and Syracuse out of timeouts. Coach Bakir Ganesharatnam's players will have to figure it out on the court by themselves.
A huge silencer to put yourself at set point.
Lucy Mott to send away. George blocked at the net. Another bite at it for Syracuse. Kill. Syracuse survives the first set point. Now the Orange have to survive one more to force extras.
Not done just yet. We're going to take a clean serve and a big block up top. And now BC gets some extra time. Program record, but you're only a third way through the season so far, and they got their eyes set on some more. They're going to be the first team to go to the tournament in Boston College's history.
Second set point for Boston College. Zaria Harris-Wadi serving. Set by Mott. Lane one-handed, it's in! Yes, though, that EVA will be a factor here in the third set. Yamada sends away, and we're off here in set 3. Syracuse needs to win this set to stay alive in the match. Boston College takes the first point.
A lengthy discussion, as we mentioned. Syracuse late to getting out on the court. There's obviously a lot to talk about, but BC still comes out of the gate first.
Cornelia Roach serving for Boston College, one of their 2 captains. Graduate student in her final year of eligibility. And we said it towards the end of that second set, but Syracuse really needs to do something to try and get this crowd back into the game. Maybe a long set, a big emphatic kill, just something to charge this place up.
That's not going to do it.
No, it is not. These teams trading service errors to start. Here in the third set, Boston College took the first set 25-20, the second 25-23. Jason Kennedy's team finishing sets here this evening, something they were not able to do down the stretch on Wednesday when Syracuse won in 5. Aubrey Moore for Boston College. McLaughlin out of the back row, that is long. It has not been Gabby McLaughlin's night, and the Orange need that to change if they're going to claw their way back.
Yeah, just from looking at the box scores, you know the impact that Gabby McLaughlin has. You see it when they feed her, and a lot of their wins come through McLaughlin.
George from the left pin is stuffed. Bella Ehrlich, that's becoming almost routine here this evening. What a night for the freshman.
put herself in really nice positions, and she's got the advantage with the size, and it's been relatively easy for her.
Jason Kennedy called her just an elite level player, was heavily involved, Bella Ehrlich, with the U.S. National Development Team program throughout high school. Another kill for Boston College. This time it's Audrey Ross. She's up to 11, and Syracuse is officially in trouble.
And this was just a hammer from Ross. Yamada in a pretty good spot, but the angle and the velocity on that ball.
How about the perfect height on that set, too?
Everything lined up.
Good height on that set, but George is blocked. It lands in, and Boston College continues to feast on that right front block.
It's been unstoppable so far today, and there you go. Ehrlich up.
Five-point lead for the Eagles. Serve long from Aubrey Moore. That snaps the Boston College run.
Got to get going if you're the Orange, though. The 2 points they have so far in this set come off of 2 service errors.
Yellen has to set again, delivers a perfect ball, blocked at the net. BC another chance, just have to bump it over. Free ball Syracuse. McLaughlin had to go lefty, and that didn't work. Was not set very well, the set was off time. It's been a rough night for Gabby.
And it was just a really complicated give and go. Gabby the one to touch it up, and Maeva goes right back pretty quickly, and just not the setup.
Maeva dumps over on 2, the center attack from Syracuse for one of their captains, and Taya Maeva.
Saw it early on, the 1 kill. You'll see that every now and then from Maeva, the left-hand sneak.
Areva Ivivier has come into the game here at middle blocker. Harrington hunting for the back corner, misses long. And BC, the lead for them down to 7-4. Zaria Harris-Wadi, who has 7 kills and leads the way for Syracuse with a hitting percentage over .450. Swing and a miss from Bella Ehrlich. We've not seen Boston College off time much tonight, but off time there, and Syracuse will take it.
Yeah, just not enough height on that set. It was Ehrlich going up for a swing up top, had to adjust the angle and try and just sideswipe it, ultimately misses it completely.
Syracuse has 1 reverse sweep this year. They beat Cornell earlier, fell down 2-0, came back to win in 5, 3 sets to 2. What a dig by Yelland on McLaughlin. Here comes McLaughlin again. Bodies flying everywhere for Boston College as they'll hurry to get back set up. A bump set. Danica Rock. Unbelievable from the Eagles.
I mean, this has been all night. The defense has been incredible for Boston College. Somehow stays alive right here, swings it opposite end, gets Syracuse out of balance. And then another kill.
5th of the night for Danica Rock. Here's Yellen to serve. George, that set a little behind him. Maeva to Ivivier. Yellen handles it. McLaughlin, finally.
With some extra zip on this ball, and it's a really nice dig at first from Yellen, just with the left hand. They'll go right back her direction, but can't get it righty.
Maeva. Rock off the block, point Boston College. How about the way Boston College has been able to tool or hit around the block compared to Syracuse here tonight?
Yeah, and Rock's eyes lit up. She was set up for that. was waiting patiently and gets it going. Now another issue on the court. BVA feeling out her ankle, it kind of seems like.
I think Bakir Ganesharatnam trying to maybe get the trainer's attention. Yeah, the trainer's coming over now. BVA looks like she did something to that ankle, and because it was Boston College's point, Syracuse can't rotate, and let's take a look at it here. Let's see.
She's on the block up top, and
Oh.
It's a tough roll, lands on her teammate's Lorio's foot. See a bit of a spin, really good sign walking off though.
She wears that ankle brace on the left ankle, but not on the right. So Vivier, who came in for the first time here in the third set, now comes back out. Sawana Leia comes back in. Again, the only time you can rotate in that situation when your team did not score the point is in the event of injury, which was why Coach Bake had to have the conversation with the R2 to make sure that he could get that substitution in. 9-6, Boston College leads. It's been all Boston College here tonight at the women's building in Syracuse.
Especially early on in sets as well. Boston College has really leaped into it, and Syracuse has dug themselves in a couple of holes that they've started to creep back towards in the second half of the set, but it's really just been too much.
McLaughlin makes the first pass. Lorio dug in the back row by Audrey Ross. Yamato dives to dig rock. Free ball for BC. Miss set, opportunity for the Orange. Leia drops it in the donut. No, she didn't. A pancake dig, keeps it alive. And now on the block stuff, Syracuse takes the point. My goodness, what does it take to put Boston College away tonight?
I mean, they are on it on the defensive side. We'll get another look at that dig. And if BC were to win this point, this would have been an incredible momentum swing.
That's Mott, the setter. Here, Mott will set right to the middle, and Sequoia Lane, look out.
There's no stopping this one, the way they were able to get to Lane within a second, and then she throws it down towards the back line as well.
Maeva back set for Lorio, and that's blocked. And it goes down for a Boston College stuff. The Eagles continue to dominate on the block. That time it's Audrey Ross.
They're just piling it on, and Syracuse has not found the answer to it. Lorio had herself a career day on Wednesday, and BC has it figured out.
Solo block there for Ross. McLaughlin out of the back row, handled by Rock. Comes to the left pin, and Maeva is overpowered by Audrey Ross. Give her 12 kills and give BC a 5-point lead here in the third set as Syracuse continues to play from behind.
To be swept on a weekend. It's been a lot of win-loss for them. We'll see how they fare in Florida.
Another kill for Boston College, as Syracuse has to just try and make sure they keep this somewhat within reach so they can try and steal at the end, but Boston College continues to percolate. See that? They're hitting 281. BC hitting the 150s on Wednesday. Look like a completely different team. Yellen delivers a perfect set to Audrey Ross. And it's Boston College's point. Syracuse called for the violation.
Nothing going the Orange's way. Violation on the last point. The receive not going the way they'd want. A couple of errors mixed in.
George makes the first pass, and Leia gets a kill. One of the cleaner points that Syracuse has come up with this evening. Sawana Leia, Bakir Ganesharatnam called her the team's most consistent player, just game in, game out. Every practice, he said, she brings it too. Doesn't remember her ever having a bad practice. There's Roach.
Just too easy right now for Boston College. Syracuse has not found a way to interrupt any of this game plan. From the middle, from either side, on the defensive side of things, it's all Boston College.
Down by 7. Boston College just 10 points away from a sweep. Free ball for the Orange. Harris-Waddy tried to go off speed, but Lane kept it up. Lorio. She's been a bright spot for the Orange. Just her 5th start of the year, 9 kills tonight.
Perfect setup and met right at the peak. Lorio with some good vision, only facing one blocker on that opposite side. And now, Eddie, we're going to see a couple of mix-ups here for Syracuse, substitutions-wise.
Piper Willinger, who's the 2nd setter on the roster, comes in to serve. She's been used sparingly this year, sometimes as a serving specialist, but she hasn't played since she started the home opener in the ACC against Cal. Ross tools the block.
That's off a touch from Sydney Waller as well, who is a familiar face on the Syracuse roster, but have not seen her yet today, making her first action.
Waller started on Wednesday and then was replaced by Marie Lorio after the first set, and Lorio played the final 4. McLaughlin has to bump set. Syracuse, some confusion on their side of the floor. Leads to another kill, and it's Bella Ehrlich. It's getting away, Tommy.
Yeah, no answers right now on the Syracuse defense. Boston College came in with a game plan, and they have executed it to a T.
Jason Kennedy said that the Thursday practice was going to be crucial to make some of those adjustments on the film. They have certainly been evident here today. There's Skylar George.
Yeah, she does not want it to be done yet. Fired up after that kill, trying to hype her teammates up, said, let's go, we're not out of this yet.
And Willinger, the setter, running the offense here with Maeva rotating off. And George has an ace. Skylar George, who plays with so much passion, so much energy, trying to charge up her team.
And it's evident every time she plays. The reaction on the points that are scored when her team starts to get hot, a lot of it is the energy that is fed from her.
Another ace. So George on this serving run has cut it to 5.
Haven't found as much success attacking, getting stuffed at the net, have to find ways to make a mark, and it's on the serving side.
Another tough serve from George. Ross is stuffed. Their toughest matches yet to come. These two teams travel partners, so they play the same 2 opponents every weekend. 17-13, Boston College leads. Syracuse on a run behind Skylar George. Boston College continuing to have trouble with George's serve. Here she bump sets to McLaughlin. Ross with the off speed. Yamada can't keep it up. And BC snaps the run, back up by 5.
And that run stopped hurts even more after you've seen how much success George has had serving-wise. She's thrown this Boston College defense and offense off from some of the serve receptions.
George on serve receive. Willinger sets McLaughlin, tools the block, point Syracuse.
Gets it right back. It's been a nice run from the Orange, and George getting started on the service side, and how about McLaughlin on the attack?
And the facilitation there by Piper Willinger, the new setter in the game. Harris-Waddy from the service line. Willinger hustles to set. George off speed. And there's Ross out of the back row again. She has found spots on the floor pretty much every time she's had a good look tonight.
And Brooklyn Yellen just so impressive on the digs she's had so far this season, sliding in to keep that one up, and that's what ultimately sets Ross for a clean look.
If EVA steps into it, or excuse me, that's Waller. And McLaughlin will pick up the point here for Syracuse.
It's been a lot of mix and matching for Syracuse in this third set, but they figured it out as the time has gone on. Dug themselves in a pretty big hole early on. Now running out of time to get out of it.
Taya Maeva back in the game. Her Orange trailing by 4. Maeva sets to the left hand for McLaughlin. And Gabby is wide again.
She's done a good job today at locating the hands of the defense. That one, just a complete miss. Left and out of bounds. Now Boston College back up to 5 with just 5 points away.
9 kills for McLaughlin, 8 attacking errors. Maeva sets for Lorio. BC block gets a touch. Sequoia Lane. She's only started 3 matches this season.
Unstoppable so far today, and now she's up to 10 kills, hitting .450. The Orange have had no answer.
Look at the angle on that swing, too. BC 4 points away, make it 3. An ace served up by Mott. And Syracuse calls timeout, their final.
And you see her on the attack, but right in her spot.
See how much of a hand she has in the end of the third set. Bump set by Yamato. Lorio going cross court, but it's out. And Boston College just 2 points away. Notice Lorio now back on the left side, Tommy.
Took the switch over and couldn't adjust quick enough. Tried to go opposite ends, which she's had some success so far on the right side with, but can't adjust back.
Bakir Ganesharatnam for Syracuse is going to challenge that. At this point, Syracuse doesn't have much to lose. They thought the ball was in. Give his team an opportunity to try and reset themselves here. And you do have matches over the course of the season like this. It's just unfortunate it comes at this time for Syracuse, just tonight when everything is not clicking.
We'll take a look at where that ball may have dropped in. Saw it in the top corner, and the original call on the court was that it was out. It seems to look that way based on the 2 angles we're given.
It's a great look by our crew right there. Does look like it's just out. Here's the look from our camera on the near side. This one's coming right towards your living room. Look at Brooklyn Yellen too. Watch that ball almost all the way to the line.
After review, the original outcome is confirmed.
Syracuse loses their first challenge. Deborah LaValle, the R2 on the floor, making the call. Boston College now just 2 points away here in the third set.
I think the Orange might have saw that one coming, but down 8, down 2 sets to none. Got to play your last cards.
Lucy Mott serving. George makes the first pass for the Orange. Leia stuffed. Point Boston College. Match point coming. That time Cornelia Roach, who they call Coco. What a night for Boston College. On the verge of a sweep. They'll have a free ball to try and do it on. It's Yellen. She's set so well. Sequoia Lane just out. Wouldn't that have been a special way to end it?
That's the setup they wanted. Sequoia Lane has had quite the night. Wanted to finish it off, just off the mark.
Mott sets to the middle. It's Lane again. She was tremendous tonight, and so was Boston College. The Eagles take down Syracuse in sweep fashion. And this home and home ends in a 1-1 split.
It's a really tough spot, a quick turnaround as we talked about, and it was going to be